영석아, 일어나. 영석아, 남자친구 앞이란다. 네가 맞이할래?
To get a good job after graduating from university, he is at the beck and call of his female professor. Not to mention living in fear every day, and often eating poorly and not getting enough sleep. Just as he walks out of the apartment, a senior who passes by him suddenly calls out to him. It turns out the other person is just reminding him that his backpack zipper is not closed. But he cannot help feeling a pang of guilt in his heart, and hurriedly flees from the apartment. His name is Young Suk. Although he got into the best university in Seoul, his life is financially tight. He can only rely on his outstanding looks to earn a chance to breathe in the big city. His girlfriend rents a small room of less than 10 square meters. When the professor has no arrangements, Young Suk stays temporarily at his girlfriend's place. His girlfriend does not know about his disgraceful affair with the professor, and the professor does not care that he is dating someone else. When the three meet by chance at school, it seems only Young Suk feels embarrassed. If it were not for Jo Seo's appearance, Young Suk's college life would definitely have been miserable. It is a chance encounter on the street. A girl with disabled legs accidentally falls down. When Young Suk passes by, he voluntarily offers help, perhaps out of pity for the disabled. He decides to personally take the girl home. Because the electric wheelchair malfunctions, Young Suk has to borrow a handcart. He pulls the girl and the wheelchair through the streets and alleys. In a remote alley, the girl's grandmother has been waiting for a long time. To thank Young Suk, the girl cooks him a meal, but Young Suk eats hesitantly.
왜 그렇게 먹어? 독이라도 다 났을까 봐.
Perhaps feeling that his actions have hurt the girl's pride, Young Suk stops being picky, and then devours the food in big mouthfuls. He thought it was just a simple encounter, but fate gives them another chance to meet. The girl and her grandmother depend on each other. The grandmother makes a living by collecting scraps. This scene happens to be seen by Young Suk. He inexplicably runs over to help, and thus gets his second free meal. Although they remain silent with each other, there is less strangeness and formality. They are both people struggling on the fringes of life, and there seems to be nothing that can interest them. Young Suk works part-time during his spare time. On the day of the Mid-Autumn Festival, his boss gives him 2 boxes of vegetable gift sets. But he has neither a kitchen nor the ability to cook, so he gives them to the girl with disabled legs.
전 자취를 하니까 보통 사 먹어서 또 집에 놔두면 쓰레기가 되니까.
쓰레기를 줘서 고맙다.
아니, 요리 잘하는 사람한테 필요할 것 같아가지고.
Although Young Suk means well, the girl thinks it is a form of charity. She cannot accept it with peace of mind. So she insists on having Young Suk stay for another meal. This is Young Suk's third free meal. This time he chooses to take the initiative to help. While they are cooking together, they unconsciously open up and start chatting. The girl says her name is Jo Seo. She once had a happy and perfect family. Because of a car accident, her parents died, and she also became disabled. From then on, she and her grandmother depended on each other. When her grandmother collects scraps, she often brings back some empty liquor bottles and all kinds of old books. Jo Seo is thoroughly familiar with the contents of every book, and as for those foreign liquor bottles from all over the world, she only needs to smell the residual aroma in the bottle to accurately state the vintage and origin. In Jo Seo's words, she has also traveled around the world. If there is still a chance in the rest of her life, she would also like to go to Scotland once more. Young Suk feels an indescribable interest in this girl, who is physically disabled but strong-willed. After just a few days, he comes again. This time the reason is to help Jo Seo repair the broken electric wheelchair. But after fiddling for a long time, there is no result.
오늘은 밥값 못했으니 밥을 못 해주겠네.
Jo Seo is a bit embarrassed. In the end, the wheelchair still cannot be fixed. Jo Seo indeed does not ask him to stay for a meal. On the way back, he suddenly thinks of something. Jo Seo said her grandmother picked up a novel for her, but unfortunately only the first volume. To find the second volume of the novel, Young Suk searches all the libraries in Seoul, big and small. Hard work pays off. Jo Seo finally gets to read the second volume as she wished. Though the twilight glow is faint, she feels a warmth in her heart that she has never felt before. That day, Young Suk gets his 4th free meal at Jo Seo's place. After this, his spare time has a new arrangement. He no longer fawns over the female professor when seeing her, and even deliberately avoids her. He goes to help the grandmother carry scrap items, and also takes Jo Seo for walks in the woods. They have each entered each other's lives, and unknowingly walked into each other's hearts. Young Suk begins to think of Jo Seo constantly, even when chatting with his girlfriend. He does not forget to bring this up. He only tells the story of a physically disabled but strong-willed girl who harbors grand ideals. His girlfriend does not notice anything wrong and even sympathizes with the hardships of the disabled and voluntarily suggests applying to the community for free house renovation. Seeing his girlfriend's awareness, Young-suk feels quite gratified. He is deeply pleased. Before long, Young-suk invites community workers over. They begin to renovate the house. He also brings Jo-seo a few new books. During small talk, Young-suk asks Jo-seo, "Where do you most want to travel?" Jo-seo says of course it is Scotland, because that is the holy land of whiskey. Young-suk opens the panoramic map on his phone and takes Jo-seo on a virtual tour through the Highlands and Lowlands of Scotland. Just as the two are enjoying themselves, Young-suk's girlfriend suddenly arrives. What his girlfriend did not expect is that the disabled girl Young-suk mentioned turns out to be so pretty. She suddenly feels an inexplicable sense of crisis. And Jo-seo also learns for the first time that Young-suk actually has a girlfriend. In just a few minutes, she re-evaluates the relationship between the two. When Young-suk comes back, Jo-seo keeps the door tightly shut and tells him not to come anymore. Young-suk feels he is in the wrong, so he does not persist. During the time they suddenly part, Jo-seo feels an unprecedented loneliness. Although she used to be alone before, she has never felt this way. Young-suk also feels the days become longer, long enough for him to recognize his own heart. On Christmas Day, facing his girlfriend's cautious probing, Young-suk can only choose silence with a hint of apology. This day, he meets a community worker, an older sister. During the chat, he learns that Jo-seo's grandmother passed away a month ago. Young-suk cannot imagine, without her grandmother's care, what Jo-seo's life would be like. Young-suk wanders in the heavy snow with a troubled mind, but unconsciously walks to Jo-seo's doorstep. He musters up the courage and knocks on the door. When they meet again, the atmosphere is somewhat awkward. Young-suk clumsily says some caring words. "Have you been eating on time? Should I find someone to fix the drafty window? Who will clear the snow in the yard?" Little does he know that the proud Jo-seo thinks he is pitying her and coldly orders him to leave. She cannot drag this broken body to love others or to accept others' love. But Young-suk does not care. At least for now he does not. He looks back with every step, unable to let go of Jo-seo in his heart. Finally, after countless reluctant glances back, Jo-seo appears. She no longer wants to be alone in the cold, dark night, no longer wants to talk to herself while reading books. At that moment, she drops all her defenses, humbly begging Young-suk not to leave.
가지마. 부탁할게.
그렇게 할 거예요. 계속 옆에 있을게.
Expressing one's feelings may take some courage, but what truly makes Jo-seo brave is that she has already seen the ending, yet still firmly chooses to begin. Love does not strive for 10,000 years, only for the present moment. At least for a while afterward, Young-suk truly belongs to her. To take better care of Jo-seo, Young-suk moves all his belongings over. Of course, he does not have anything valuable, and maybe even renting a place outside is a problem. Like most couples, life after living together is not as romantic as imagined. Young-suk gradually learns to cook, and this is the only thing he can do to help Jo-seo. And Jo-seo's biggest hobby remains reading. Through a hole in the courtyard wall, she vaguely sees a tiger. Although the hole is small, the wall is not high, and potential danger may erupt at any time. It is unclear whether Young-suk catches her implication. He merely says calmly, "How could there be a tiger in the city?" When the weekend comes, Young-suk gradually stops pushing Jo-seo out for walks. The topics they can talk about also become fewer. Suddenly Jo-seo brings up the tiger again.
호랑이가 담을 넘어왔어도 나는 무섭지 않았을 거야.
왜?
네가 있으니까.
나 호랑이한테는 자신 없는데.
Perhaps feeling he said something wrong, Young-suk quickly corrects himself, then let the tiger eat me first. Suddenly one day, Jo-seo hands Young-suk a pregnancy test. He takes it nervously and checks. Although it is only one line, a false alarm, Young-suk suddenly realizes that he almost got trapped here forever. Graduation from university is approaching, and the outside world is full of infinite possibilities. For the first time, Young-suk has the thought of running away. That night, Young-suk again takes Jo-seo on a virtual tour with the panoramic map. Perhaps because it has been too long since they went out, Jo-seo at this moment only wants to see the scene in front of her door. As a result, in a familiar alley, Jo Seo sees her grandmother's back. Perhaps the one who can stay by her side until death is only her grandmother. A few days later, Jo Seo says she wants to go out for a while. She wants to see the underwater world, watching the fish confined in the aquarium. Jo Seo says with emotion, "We think the fish are trapped inside, but the fish might think we are the ones trapped. I originally thought that as long as happiness is by my side, it is fine even if I am trapped. Inside this aquarium, there must also be happy fish, right?"
무슨 그런 말도 안 되는 소리를.
이제 괜찮아. 외롭지 않아. 네가 내 옆에 없다고 해도 난 네가 옆에 있는 걸로 생각할 거야. 그러니까 괜찮아.
Jo Seo's words wake up Young-suk, who is still pretending to sleep. If Young-suk could always stay with her, even if the rest of his life is spent in that shabby house, it would still be happiness. But Jo Seo knows clearly how wonderful the outside world is. Young-suk's heart has already grown wings. She does not want to hold Young-suk back, and even less wants to be his burden. So she indirectly tells Young-suk, "Even if you are no longer by my side, I can still live happily." And what supports her is only this beautiful memory. 5 years later, Young-suk brings Jo Seo to Scotland, which he has been dreaming of, because she once said, "If there is still a chance in the rest of her life, I would like to go to Scotland once more."
우리가 결국엔 스코틀랜드에 와보는구나.
너랑 와보고 싶었어.
The wonderful trip to Scotland is only Jo Seo's fantasy alone. Young-suk is not by her side, and she herself has never left that little house. She has only learned to use the panoramic map, learned how to spend the long hours, and also learned to live strong.